In realms long forgotten, there are tales of the Forest Kingdom, a place of honour and chivalry, known to some as the Land of the Purple Dragon, but known to all as Cormyr.
Hi, I'm Theoda, and I'm playing Hiram, a half-orc paladin.
Hi, my name's Carl. I'm playing Cassie Donahue, human bard.
Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm playing Badger, a forest gnome monk.
Hi, my name is Anton, and I play Balthazar, a Warforged Cloak of Azuth.
Hi, my name is Elle, and I'm playing Slate, a changeling druid.
Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm playing Zombo, who is a halfling rogue/warlock.
And my name is Dan. I shall be the dungeon master on this adventure. Hello, everyone!
Hello! Hi, Dan.
Hi!
How's it going?
Just a little wake-up call for everyone there. Yeah, you all good? You all doing well?
Yeah, I don't seem to have had the Weetabix you've had, though.
I'm just psyched. I'm pumped for session 6.
Cool.
So, without further ado, shall we get into it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Marvelous.
Cute.
Cormyr is an old land whose life stretches back to the Dale Reckoning. And old lands are full of old powers, old secrets, and old oaths. Whilst the elves would eventually begin their migration back into Cormanthor, the magics taught to some of the humans who had pledged to protect the forests remained. The history of druidism in Cormyr is therefore a long and storied one. Protectors of nature have proven to be some of the most influential figures in the centuries of Cormyr's existence. Some, such as Hullock, were so great they would have entire forests named after them. When the goblins, or the dragons, or the shadow came, the druids stood alongside their fellow Cormyrians in defiance of the invaders. Some say that you only truly become a legend when you die and your body is laid to rest. What happens, however, if the spirit lingers and is not amused by recent events?
I think that was a bit of a spoiler, I think, Dan. We're gonna be fighting
Don't know what you're talking about. That was completely hypothetical.
a undead dragon is what we're fighting. I know now.
So, we find the Warhounds. Breathless, dusty, coughing, in some sort of underground warren. Having freshly been chased in by what appeared to be a piloted red dragon that you were attempting to hunt down with the two stalwart society mercenaries, Helenus Fish and Axicas. In a tense encounter, you managed to evade the dragon and avoid its deadly fiery breath, only to be chased into the barrow, which you believe may well have been a camp for the dragon's riders. To have a large amount of debris and rock fall from the ceiling to seal you in. And as you kind of try to wave the dust and the stales, the damp smell of earth from your faces, Katya's glowing short sword illuminates the area around you. You find yourself in front of what appears to be a like a pillar of earth that rises up to the ceiling, almost as like a central pillar, and from it emerge a series of old and girthy roots.
Girthy roots.
Girthy roots.
Alright.
Anton.
Those of you who are more perceptive, so Balthazar and
Right.
Badger, you hear, like, you can hear the sound of the earth above you kind of still shifting and resettling, but you can also hear the sound of a dragon roar getting fainter and fainter, along with some receding wing flaps. In the commotion, you also hear Hiram next to you. You hear a grunt of pain come from the tiefling woman to your left. And as you all start to pick yourselves up, you notice that she rolls kind of onto her side and is clutching at her ankle with a grimace, like her fangs bared as she grimaces. She holds her right ankle. And Helenus, rushes over to see to her. What do you do?
Was that to all of us?
Yeah, sorry. Well, let's start from bottom. Zumbo, what do you do?
I think once he's caught his breath, try and sort of regain his composure a bit. And right, well, looks like we ain't going back that way. We need to get out of here, I reckon. It's quite enough side quests for one day. What is there two? Are there sort of two tunnels in front of us, like a T-junction, Dan?
So this pillar seems to, like you can go left or right around this pillar.
Okay.
Zumbo, from where you're sat, and with the aid of Catcher's glowing sword, the sword itself, because of you all kind of scattered around Katya, your shadows extend out and create these almost kind of ghoulishly monstrous shadow figures that kind of dance across the walls of what appears to be some sort of underground tomb. But you do see what appears to be a tunnel to the right, and also as you look the other way, a tunnel to the left.
And I guess as a sailor, I might be able to, I guess, smell weather changes in the air and things. So I wonder if I can smell fresh air coming from somewhere.
Okay. So first off, then, if I could have a just click on Zumbo. Let's have a survival. I'm going to call that a survival check.
Okay. Thanks. 18.
Okay. So as you take a big old sniff, which you're used to on the deck of a ship, just dust and dirt that's clearly not been disturbed for some considerable time is hoovered up your nostrils, and as you like cough and splutter, you realise that the air you're breathing is not fresh in any way, shape, or form. You appear to be trapped. Like utterly trapped. There's no circulation down here.
Right, well, that ain't good, folks. Probably have to dig our way out. I say we just start exploring until we find somewhere where the earth's a bit thinner.
Hiram, what do you do?
In time-wise, at this point, Hiram is shaking very hard and tries to say to who was his name? I think just Axikas, like, I'm sorry, I just need a minute. I'm really sorry.
Okay, and Axikas has her eyes scrunched shut as she gently opens one eye to look to you. and like the moonlight emanating from Katya's blade dances across her kind of solid black eye, her black eyeball, and she don't mention it, she says. And you can see her it looks like she's trying to move her foot, but it's just kind of it doesn't seem to be moving as much as she wants it to, and she every time she does. But yeah, is there anything else you'd like to do?
Not at this point.
Okay. Catcher.
Cash is looking around, sort of casting a light, seeing what she can see. While Jewel, I imagine, is at the fallen rocks, just digging, snuffling, trying to sort of like dig through it.
Yeah, he is futilely with every claw swipe, and like he removes some dirt, and more dirt just falls into its place.
Firstly, she checks if everyone's okay. It's like, is everyone all right? Did everyone, like, moving the sword around to make sure everyone's there?
Yeah,
and then
I'm good.
She Kasia pats Balthazar on the chest, like, good. And then she looks around to Axacast. And she asks, "Are you okay?" And inadvertently casts healing word on her.
Ooh.
Okay. So, so as you say that, you see, like the wincing tiefling, like her grimace softens slightly, and like she's able to open her eyes slightly, and you see her almost kind of sheepishly look up at at Helenus, who's on one knee, with both her hands held around Axacast's ankle, and yeah, Axacast takes a deep breath and I think I live. Yes, she says.
Didn't look like that big of a fall. I'm sure you'll be okay. Come on.
I think
you.
I think it might be sprained or twisted. I don't know. And she looks around at all the uneven terrain around her, and it is not the perfect condition for hopping.
Kasia looks around to Balthazar and say, and between here and Balthazar, are one of you two able to carry her?
Sure, I could help.
Well, what's Badger doing?
I think Badger's probably gonna go over to Hiram and sort of crouch. Well, she wouldn't have to crouch actually. If Hiram's like sitting on the floor, she sort of just goes up to him and sort of says, I think she's gonna put a hand on his shoulder and say, Hiram, I want you to look at me. I want you to breathe, and I want you to find 5 things you can see, and listen out for 4 things you can hear, and just sort of touch the ground around you, okay? I think it's important you stay here for a few minutes. We're going to go and start having a look around, but I need you to look after Axacast, okay? And she then goes sort of to help Zumbo with looking for a good place to dig our way out.
Okay, so as you kind of say this to Hiram to start kind of calming him down a bit, you take a moment to look around as well, and what you see is that this area you're in seems to wrap around the stone pillar like the earth pillar that you're kind of in the shadow of. You can see there are 2 tunnels off to the left and right. Off to the left. That don't look particularly deep, but you can see. It's difficult to see exactly what it is that's at the end of these tunnels. Perhaps maybe only 40 foot away, for example. But you can see something in them from where you are.
Cool.
Hiram.
Yep.
Let's do a. Well, how do you respond? How's Hiram feeling in response to Badger's words?
He will definitely start, touches the ground and starts, looking around, focusing on things just to ground himself.
Okay. Yeah. As you start to, as the world starts to kind of slow down and become a bit more understandable and digestible, you start following Badger's eye line, and you also see these tunnels from where you're sat, where you're ever so slightly closer. The tunnel immediately to your left, you can see shapes on the floor which look suspiciously like skulls.
That's gonna calm him down.
Piles of them.
Oh shit.
Jeez.
At least it's something to count. Yeah, I think he is going to, as loud as he can. It's like, Badger,
Yes.
there are some corpses that way.
Oh, right. Okay.
And Badger, as you look over what at first glance looked like rocks and small rocks, you focus in on them, and with your 90s CCTV dark vision, you can start to make out the black pits on them as the eye sockets of what appear to be piles of skulls and bones and other assorted body parts, internal body bits. Slate.
Hello.
You're stood next to Emily, who currently Emily is wearing this. The expression she wears is one of almost like this weird mix of determination, anger, frustration. Like she's just been scolded. And Drool is currently just scratching at this wall endlessly. What do you do?
I will say to Emily, "Don't worry, you're gonna get him soon." And then I'll kind of do a little ka-ding, and then look around, and kind of, I imagine, do I know much about this place?
Give me a l'histoire check.
Oh, that was a critical fail.
Well. You have no knowledge of this place.
Okay, that's fine. So this
however,
is critical.
Yeah, so you don't know, you have no knowledge of what this place is, but based on what you knew outside, you suspect that this is, you are in the barrow. So you are in the barrow of, you presume, Narvla Sky Shatter.
Narvla Sky Shatter.
Yeah, who was the owner of the large dragon skull that topped this barrow. That history check means that you don't know what's in here.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so I will stomp up to the tree. I imagine that's a tree where all the gnarled root starts to the bottom of the.
Yeah, so it's effectively like an earthen pillar, just a mat, like a column of earth that's seemingly holding up the ceiling, but then there are roots that are splayed out of it.
Is from. Okay, on the sides, are there any druidic markings?
In the light of Catcher's blade, you can see that there are kind of druidic markings. They're not kind of sentences per se, but they're more tokens of eternal rest, protection, warding, celebration, grief.
Cheeky graffitis.
Yeah, so it's like that. These are concepts that are like ideas that are written on the walls.
I think I'll probably be like reading them out quite disinterestedly. Like, ugh, they always yammer on and on about concepts, ideas, but it's never bloody just, directions or, this way to the easy way out, alternative exit this way. And then
gift shop
from
this
that,
way.
From that, I'll be reading out some of those as I go, kind of just muttering them, I guess. But if I put my hand on the root, one of the roots, does it feel alive, or is it a dying? Is it a dead, fully dead?
It feels angry.
Okay, here goes nothing. I will cast again.
Mm-hmm.
Speak with plants.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
That's fine. So as you cast Speak with Plants, that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. How did you? Hang on. Let's go. Okay. So, cool. So yeah, I've got a good idea. So as you cast with Speak with Plants and you lay your hand back on the root, your head is suddenly filled with the sounds of what seem to be hundreds of voices. And they're all shouting. And it's just like walking into, like, it feels like your head has just been hit by a sledgehammer of sound. As you, it's shocking enough that it makes you pull your hand back in shock.
Yeah, I think Rowan would scream a bit when they pull their hand back.
Yeah.
But,
To everyone else, it looks as if Rowan has just touched this root and been hit by a bolt of lightning and just flinches back.
And but determined, kind of shake off and go, okay.
In that moment, you know that this seems to be almost like these roots are almost like a highway of woodland spirits that are kind of contained in and around you. You just heard all of them at once.
I will again just very tentatively, but kind of just forcefully, kind of put my hand back on the plant and back on the root, and say, "Please, just for a moment, please, just can you help us, please? We don't want to be disturbing anything here. We just want to get out as quick as possible. Please, can you stop?"
Like, it just sounds like, it's almost like the sound of static. There are so many voices, but as you try to focus and try to listen through, there almost seems to be like a chorus of voices which kind of begin to rise out of the noise. Blood and flesh, rip and tear, kill them all, rip out their throats, eat their hearts, consume them.
I think Rowan will be pretty much in tears by now. Like, we need to get out of here as soon as possible, and they're not being very helpful. This is not a nice place to be, and I want to just get out. Can we just go somewhere now?
Katja puts a hand on Rowan's shoulder. I'm sorry, after you, Anton.
I go, hey, you'll be okay.
It's just full of death and blood and murder, and there's just rip out there. I don't want. Can we go now?
Lass, you're starting to damage my calm. Could you just keep it down a sec?
Balthazar, as you've got one hand on Rowan's shoulder, like, you look around and you can see the druidic runes that you can read around you are ones of sort of like happiness, grief, protection, warding, etc., etc. And it reminds you. You just have this idea that it kind of reminds you of the sort of kind of tokens of gesture of affection that you might see around any sort of graveyard. You know,
Gotcha.
there's not like prose written, but there are these concept, these gestures, if you will.
I had an idea. I was just thinking, reading all these scriptures in this underground, dark, cloistered space, with Catcher using her magical light. I'm just wondering if it might bring up memories to Balthazar.
Okay.
Being in that sort of enclosed space. Can I use that feature that I have, which is called? What is it called, Dan?
So which skill are you trying to use? By the way?
I'm just trying to do a history check just to go back. Knowledge from previous life is what I want to use.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Can I play that? Yeah.
Okay. So
specifically the reading in sort of this dark underground space would be quite thematic for him.
So as you've kind of got one hand on Rowan's shoulder, and as you kind of look around, looking at the writing, trying to make sense of everything, the dark and the gloominess, and then there's Zumbo who's just like, you need to shush. You're starting to disturb me. It's sort of like, Zumbo's voice starting to raise, Rowan just starting to become a bit hysterical at your feet, and it's the sound of the panicked crying that begins to form an image in your mind, and you remember a dark room illuminated by a number of candles, a figure on the floor in front of you as if they've been knocked backwards by something, and shadowy figures in the room, in the doorway, and the voice from the figure on the floor. Please, no, please, don't do this. And when you snap back, it's Rowan. I want to leave. You hear her say.
All right. That's interesting. Balthazar will shake it off and go, "Oh yeah, it'll be okay, Ron. We'll find a way out."
We need to go now. We need to go now before anything.
So, what's anyone can jump in. What would you like to do?
Would somebody be able to see a bit further? I have got dark vision, if that matters. I don't know if it matters.
But... Do you?
Yeah. 120 feet.
Really?
Warlock.
Oh, you get it for... Okay, yeah, fair enough. In which case, yeah, so from where you're sat, well, yeah, so you're happy to pad around. I mean, it doesn't look that gloomy in here, actually. The room immediately in front of you does look very dark. Very, very dark, however. You can see something at the end of the room, so you know it's not particularly deep. It just seems very dark. The other way, so slightly up a bit, you can see what appears to be another tunnel with what look almost like bushes or something. So hang on, you've got 120 feet dark vision, eh?
Yeah, I think so.
Right, well let's give you that.
Thank you.
Whoop, there you go.
Oh wow, yeah, that looks different.
That makes a lot of difference. So yeah, Zumbo, as you kind of pad off into the darkness, you see this very, very dark room to your right. A bit further up, you see a room, like a small... Like, looking at it, it just looks almost like a big collection of... What are they? Are they mushrooms?
I think seeing those, Zumbo will pause for a minute, Here, Rowan, was it? You got a bit of a thing for mushrooms, haven't you?
Well, well, I know someone who does. But then Rowan
Fancy
will
another
go
game of poker?
closer. But because Rowan doesn't have dark vision, she'll go. Can't you? Can you come too, please?
Zumbo, as you've turned to ask Rowan this, as you turn back, you notice that to your left are a number, up, around the wall are what appear to be 4 pedestals. They look like, and there's a portion of the wall, whereas the walls of this place seem to be a combination of sort of like dirt, earth, rock. This portion of the wall appears to be thick streams of root or vine or something. You can't tell in the black and white. Just unlike the rest of the walls, this bit just seems to be like a barricade of something rooty or viney.
Okay.
Thick, like wider than you.
Alright. Is Rowan kind of trying to move towards me in the dark, or are you just waiting for Katya to...
Katya will step up, but she sort of keeps the torch between the branches at the moment, so Helenus, Axicast, and Hiram and Badger can still see, but she steps a little forward to cast some light into the area. Like, there you go, Rowan.
Yeah. So I'll tell the others what I've seen, and while I'm doing that, I'll kneel down and pick up a loose bit of rock if I can, or a bit of plump of dirt, and just throw it into the dark tunnel gently.
Okay, so as you throw it in, you watch it as this rock kind of flies off, and it hits ground, and you realise it's just the ground. The ground's at the normal height, like where it should be, and this rock kind of rattles along and bumps into what appears to be. You realise now you're kind of a little bit closer. It seems to be a sarcophagus. Not like a stone one. You don't know where it's made from, but it hit something.
Oh no.
And you realise that the floor around it is just darker. It made the same noise as like the stone and earth floor that you're stood on, though.
Okay.
# no losers.
Yeah, I don't think Zumbo's sure about that. It's a bit unnerved about not being able to see too well down there.
Yeah. Yeah, because as I say, when it comes to dark vision, 90s CCTV camera footage, that's what you're seeing in right now.
Yeah.
Let's spin back round. Hiram, does Hiram feel on his feet, or is he holding fire, seeing what everyone else is seeing?
I might need you to repeat that for me because I heard you, but it was very robotic.
Okay, no worries. So what's Hiram doing? As you've noticed that Zumbo and Rowan are just kind of starting to creep off to the right, as Axicast is slowly trying to kind of pick herself up, and she's very lightly kind of stepping on her ankle and just kind of leaning up against the wall, and like Helenus is trying to help her up, and Axicast says, I've got it, says she, and then she props herself up against the wall.
Hiram is seems calmer now. The shaking has stopped. He turns right at one point and to locate Emily.
Mm-hmm.
And once he has done that and know that she's fine, she's a draw, he turns to the adventurer and says, like, okay, I'm really sorry again. Can I help? And offers a hand.
Axicast also just kind of like waves you away in the same way that she's waving off Helenus. And like as the tiefling has her head down, like her eyes closed, there's this like flash of irritation and concern across Helenus's face. And I mean, you would know. I mean, it's the look of someone who isn't being allowed to look after someone they care for. But yeah, Helenus, this flash flickers across Helenus's face, and then she turns around, and she can see a little bit, and she looks around and kind of peers into the darkness slightly. What is this place? She says.
No idea, sorry. Hoping maybe you would know a bit more since you have been tracking this dragon longer than us.
And Helenus looks around and, well, we were tracking the dragon, but all we had was a location. We didn't know what was here. And she looks at the two of you. Can't you two see in the dark?
Yes.
And she just kind of raises an eyebrow. Shouldn't I be asking you what this place is then? And she turns around. Like, you see her eyes kind of shifting from side to side. She looks uneasy, and she's still got the bow, but you just see her kind of her fingers fiddling on the bowstring as if she's clearly on edge.
Can I ask? Sorry,
Yes.
would Rowan have heard them saying what kind of place is it? What is this place, basically?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If that is the case, then Rowan would shout back, "It's a tomb! You can tell it's a tomb! It's a druidic tomb!" And then...
And Helenus from the other side hears you shout and then looks to you and you, Badger and Hiram, and... Oh, good. A druidic tomb. Brilliant.
Yes, actually, it's brilliant. It's one of the most brilliant... And what was the name of the druid again, sorry?
Narvla Skyshatter.
Narvla Skyshatter, actually. So, quite a famous one.
Okay, does that help us getting out of here?
Yeah, you just see Rowan. She disappears around the corner. Katya.
I think Katch is kind of in the middle. She's kind of playing head tennis at the moment between the different different groups. Like, just making sure the light sort of reaches everyone it needs to. But I think what I'm actually going to do is use my free one of these a day. Katch is sort of leaning up against the rock shining. She closes her eyes for a second and she starts listening. Using detect thoughts, and she kind of just listens to the surface thoughts of everyone, not quite realizing she's doing it, but just wants to hear like the surface thoughts of everyone, apart from Joel, who's not intelligent enough.
Oh, diggy dig dig.
Well, actually, he's just intelligent enough that she'll probably just get
okay, so when we say surface, most on their minds at the moment, can you discern what thoughts are coming from who?
Well, I think.
Or would they just be voices in your head?
At the moment, I think. Well, depends if people think in their in their accents, don't they?
Yes.
Okay. So I think she's just closing her eyes, and she knows she hears voices at the moment, but I guess she'll start putting two and two together if she hears like a very sort of sea shanty-esque one. She'd be able to figure that Zumbo.
Okay,
upbeat and perky is going to be Badger.
Tell you what, I'll let you players, you can decide. So, Balthazar, what's your surface level thought?
Well, it's kind of dark in here, but I mean,
okay, cool.
There's quite a few of us.
That's it. Surface level. It's kind of dark in here. Elle, what's Rowan thinking?
Maybe someone else should be doing this instead. Maybe this isn't for
Okay,
me
cool.
right now.
Maybe someone else should be doing it. Zumbo.
Keep cool, Zumbo. Keep cool. They need you to keep cool.
Okay. Balthazar. Oh no, you've done that. Sorry. Hiram.
What the fuck?
Badger.
Be out of here in a jiffy.
You also hear what would it be? Actually, you probably hear nothing right now. Okay. But then you also hear, I hope she's okay. And you also hear, stupid, stupid.
Katja opens her eyes and steps forward, like, again, trying to keep the lights up, like, okay, everyone, I don't normally do this sort of thing. It's not in my sort of wheelhouse, but we need to come up with a plan to get out. We're all tense. We're all scared. That was a dragon. Yeah, thoughts from Emily. Is she the nothing? You know, we're all scared.
Yeah.
We just
Sorry,
lost
I'm nodding. Yes. There. You got nothing from Emily.
a snarling dragon was outside, so we need to. We're scared, but we've got each other, and we just need to come up with a plan. So, Badger,
Yes.
what's the plan?
Okay, so I am going over this way. Looks like Zumbo, Balthazar, and Rowan are already over that way. What I want is people finding any secret doors or tunnels. Remember to look at the ceiling. There might be a way out up that way.
Okay.
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 Who? Well, I'm not very good in the dark, hence why I need the sword. Who is good in the dark? And they can go one way, and those who aren't good in the dark can go the other.
I think most of us are pretty good in the dark, actually, apart from Helenus and you.
I can't see in the dark.
Oh, I do apologize, Slade. That was presumptuous of me.
Well, me, Helenus, and Rowan will go one way. May perhaps take Balthazar with us.
Helenus looks to you, like she looks to you. She looks to Axicas, specifically her ankle. And she shakes her head ever so slightly, making sure that Axicas doesn't see her do it.
I don't want to leave you in the dark, Helenus, because if I go one way, you're going to get plunged.
Helenus-
Anyone have anything that they can cast that will leave some light here?
Catchy does
Good
reach into a
idea,
bag. He's like,
Hiram.
I have a candle. And just someone else will need to find a light for it.
Well, yes, a torch would do, wouldn't it?
I can certainly create a little,
Oh.
like an instantly light the candle.
Balthazar will go to Axicas and Helenus and go, oh, well, maybe I could help. And as he walks along, he will, like, as reflex, light his staff up. Oh, where'd that come from? I've got light! And his staff will now be illuminated with a light cantrip.
You mean like this?
Like that.
Ooh.
Maybe more. Can you make it more bluish, Dan? Is that a thing?
All right,
Well, I guess
all right,
that's the problem out.
all right. Update.
Ah,
There we go.
yes! Love
So
it.
a blue light begins to emanate from the top of Balthazar's staff. And Axicas, brings her eyes up at the sudden brightness that's just kind of flashed up in her eyes. And Balthazar, as you do that, you can very easily see.
It's 20 bright and 20 dim,
Yeah.
I think. Is
So
light
you can
cantrip.
just about make out the edge of. You can see where the bright end. Sorry, but yeah, in the dim light, you can also see that there are ends to these tunnels here and here.
Alright, Badger, what are we looking for?
And from where you're stood, also, I should say, in front of Axicas, you can also see that Zumbo is now stood in front of what appear to be a number of pedestals, and what seems to be a wall made of vines or roots.
Okay. He'll move towards the center of the cave, I guess. And go,
Okay.
oh, right, Badger, what are we looking for?
Anything that might indicate there's a tunnel or a way through to another area. I don't know. Maybe. Does anyone know about the construction of druidic barrows?
Well, yeah. Does anyone? Would
I
anyone?
can read.
Well, maybe it's a history check time.
I can read it, but that's about it.
I'm guessing with my history check, that's it. My history check already is kind of upstanding here.
Yes, that is very true. So we'll pull you out, and then we'll put you lot in.
I think I'll probably do disadvantage if that's all right, Dad, because I can't imagine me having a clue.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems legit.
There we
So
go.
everyone's so 16 from Balthasar, 17 Badger, Katya surprisingly 23. So and Zumbo 1. Yes. And did we get one for Hiram?
Yeah, it didn't work.
Okay, hang on. I'll quickly do that one for you.
I feel like with
Fine.
Katya, it might be because of like, you know, being in not bars, and taverns and stuff, and
For sure.
hearing of all this kind of.
Probably reading lots as well.
So, okay, so Katya, from the stories that you've heard of the legends of buried druids and the like, you know that druids, like powerful druids, would tend to be entombed in these kind of barrows. It's very similar to the one you have here. There are a large number of barrows that are scattered all across the forests and mountains and whatnot of Cormyr. A lot of the time, a particular druid might be buried, a barrow might be extended to have additional druids buried in the same barrow. And in actual fact, now that kind of Balthasar stepped forward a bit, and the light emanating from his staff, you can make out what seems to be like this room up ahead. Seems to be kind of sprawling with vines that are kind of growing out of the floor. You can also now see, especially with the shadows that are casting, piles of bones. Balthasar, you can see there is what appears to be some sort of kind of primal looking, if I want a better word, sarcophagus, like a tomb.
Tries to avoid looking at it.
And Balthasar stood where you are, looking in. Well, as you look away from the room filled with bones and skulls, and your eyes linger on the. Actually, where's your 23? Okay, yeah, you can just see a room full of vines.
Yeah.
ahead.
Can we move around? I guess. Should we just
Yeah.
all have a
Yeah.
look around?
Yeah,
Move-
everyone
get
plonk
moving.
yourself where you'd like to investigate, and then we'll go from there.
As Katya walks past here, and she just gives him a pat on the shoulder as she moves to the center of the room, and she basically like gestures her sword to each opening one after another, just to keep the light rotating around, even though Balthazar's radiating light.
Okay, so Zumbo, you're stood in front of the root, the barrier of roots. Balthazar, you're in the vine room. Badger and Hiram, you're in the spone room.
Yeah. Actually, I think I'm going to leave Badger to that area, and I'm going to go more towards where Zumbo is.
Yep, sounds
So
good.
just so we cover more ground.
Where is Slate?
Slate is up with Balthazar.
Slate's up in the vine room. Okay, cool. So, Badger, we'll do you real quick. So, as you enter into the room that you're in, there's this peculiar. It's almost like a weight that begins to press on your chest, and it's bizarre. It's when you start to. When you start to get a bit flustered or kind of agitated, and you feel that kind of tension that builds in in your chest and in your stomach, it feels like that as you step closer towards this tomb, and like on top of this sarcophagus is this large animal head, animal skull, sorry, of a great horned kind of woodland beast of some sort, almost like a bull or a roth or something like that.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's stood around. You realise that the room is just littered with polished, like what they're bones and skulls and whatnot. But what you notice is that they're all cleaned. It's almost ceremonial. You look around and you kind of get the impression they're almost trophies.
Oh dear.
And as you approach the tomb, we'll jump to Balthazar and Rowan. So Balthazar, as you approach the end of the tunnel, your light that's coming from the end of your staff illuminates a rune above what it almost looks like a flower bed, if you will. You know, the earth that you're walking on is quite kind of hard and compacted, but there seems to be this almost like more softer or loamier kind of earth in front of you with all these vines kind of sprouting out of it and sprawling across the floor. What you do notice is that emerging from the walls in this kind of spaghetti junction kind of mishmash are thorned roots, just reels of thorns
Like
emerging
brambles.
out. Brambles,
Yeah.
thank you. That's what I'm looking for. And the rune above this vegetation says Ash Mender.
All right. Can you speak to the plant?
Of
Rowan?
course.
Are they
But
friendly?
can I just ask, would Ashmender strike any kind of, or is it still going to relying on that same history, or would there be Ashmender
The
like?
circumstances have changed, so you may now make a new history check.
Come on, roll. Oh, it's a 17. That's much better.
Okay. So you recognize the name Ashmender as the name. You've heard stories of the druid Ashmender. You know that's their druidic honorific title. But as you kind of have that realization in your head, Hiram, the dark kind of tunnel you're in with your dark vision, you've stopped at what appears to be the edge of a chasm. And like in front of you is this stone sarcophagus that is festooned with a number of white, like what seem to be white stone pebbles, marble, scattered across the top, like small, spherical white stones. And it looks as if this tomb is almost just like floating in the darkness. And you would think it, you would think it was a chasm if it weren't for the rock that Zumbo threw in, which is just sat on the floor, but also looks like it is floating. And if you gently slide your foot forward, you notice that the floor appears to be painted almost. Whereas the rest of the tomb is, a dark kind of brown, like a browny, earthy tone. It would appear that this room is, painted in some sort of dark color, encroaching on black.
I thought you meant it was painted to look like stone for a bit, and I was just like, they ran out of stone. Stone effect.
No. Sorry, I should also say that Badger, Rowan, and Hiram, Hiram, on top of this tomb, you see three white stones. Badger, you see 3 skulls besides the large animal skull. And Rowan and Balthazar, you also see 3 what appear to be like 3 totems. But yeah, Hiram, what do you do?
Hiram, before he realizes that it's just a painting, contemplates hurling himself into the chasm. and walks closer to the sarcophagus.
Okay. So there is a moment where, despite the fact you know nothing bad will happen, you, as it feels like you're about to walk off a cliff, but yeah, your foot lands on solid ground, and like as you step up towards the tomb, what almost look like white specks begin to almost illuminate on the walls around you, and as you stop and look around, it feels like you're looking. As you look up, it feels like you're looking up at the night sky. But then as you look down, it feels like you're suspended just in the void, surrounded by these glowing white specks of light. And looking back to the 3 white stones on this tomb, you notice that there are 3 runes. 3 different runes on them. And as you kind of look at the runes, we'll switch to Zumbo. Zumbo, you're stood in front of the vines.
Yeah. So I would have shouted, not knowing where everyone's gone, I would have shouted over my shoulder that we got some pedestals here. Looks like it might be some sort of door, some sort of way out. Not sure how it opens though. And I'd be examining the pedestals. I'm looking for any obvious like buttons or anything he can push because he's a simple man, but also any of those funny markings that he's seen Rowan read. Obviously, he wouldn't be able to understand them, but he might be able to recognise them by now.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you chuck me an investigation check.
Oh dear, 8.
Okay. So on a roll of an 8, you're not able to find any buttons or so. Even with an 8, there's that. You can feel that little tingle on the end of your nose. That there's something clearly magical going on here. But as you're kind of inspecting it, there's a little as if you swear one of those roots just tickled the back of your foot.
One of the boots from the earth pillar.
Yeah, just like scratched at your heel. You're
Okay.
sure of it.
I think he'd like reflex pull his rapier out and twirl and like whack it.
Okay, yeah, and you and like a little bit of wood bark kind of pings off.
Would Rowan have heard / see that in the distance?
Yes, you would have. You would have heard. You would have heard Zumbo do a little swing.
Don't hurt the sacred tree. Don't hurt it. I don't think the sacred tree is that. It's a really nice tree. Be careful.
Yeah, I won't hurt it if it doesn't hurt me.
So with
Backing away.
with that warning, as you back away, as you turn around, you can see that at the end of this room, it's almost like a small garden of mushrooms, almost, and it's just a bit peculiar to see, yeah, you're not really sure what it is that's going on here. But as you get close, you almost feel at home. You feel comfortable amongst the mushrooms. It's just floating in space. Good. Right, so we'll circle back around. So, Catcher, you've just noticed everyone's just kind of wandered off into their own tunnel. What are you doing? So there's the light coming from Balthazar.
Yeah, so I think because she can see up to what Zumbo is doing, she can see where Balthazar and Rowan is, and she can see where Badger is. Could I do an investigation to try and figure out if there's a puzzle at foot? Like, there seems to be 3. She doesn't know that Hiram's found 3, or I imagine Zumbo's going to find 3 of something. But can she do an investigation check to try and figure out if there's a puzzle at play?
Sure. Let's go with an investigation.
And that's.
This place is
a
just
roll,
real
nothing
creepy.
happened, so let me know.
I rolled a 5.
Yeah, I got a 5, so yeah.
Yeah. So this place just feels real creepy. Like you've heard the stories, and now you're in it. It just doesn't seem as exciting. You suspect there's probably something going on, but it's almost like you don't want to find out what it is. So
Yeah. She sort of calls out, like, Zumbo, do you need any light?
No, I'm great. I'm great. You carry on. I'm having a whale of a time.
Okay.
So
I got nothing.
So as Zumbo shouts back, "You're all right," and you just kind of, you find yourself stood in the middle, just kind of not really sure what it is you want to do. You hear a voice in your head, and Badger, you hear a voice in your head, and Catcher, you turn to look at Badger almost as if to ask, did you say something? You notice the voice says, "Intruders." And Badger, as you look up,
Yeah.
Oh.
a shape begins to appear in front of you, hovering slightly over the casket, the tomb you're stood in front of.
Oh.
And the figure appears to be this brutish-looking, heavily scarred man wearing animal furs, bestial claws for hands, macabre trinkets of animal parts and whatnot festooned across him, and he looks at you with these kind of glowing yellow eyes. And Catcher, you see this figure emerge above the tomb that Badger stood in front of. But as you go opposite and take a few steps forward, another figure kind of catches your peripheral vision, Catcher, and as you turn to look, Badger and Rowan, you see
Balthazar and Rowan?
Sorry, Balthazar and Rowan, beg your pardon. A figure begins to materialize above the mesh of vines and roots in front of you.
Oh,
This
boy.
one decidedly avian in stature, wielding some sort of bizarre druidic spear, the wings splayed out and disappearing into some sort of mist, and it peers at you with glowing yellow eyes. Hiram, as you kind of float idly in space, as you kind of look up, you see what appears to be a figure, a reptilian-looking figure squatting on top of the tomb, leaning heavily on a staff topped with a skull. And as it looks at you, fins just kind of splay out the side, and a top head fin kind of sits up as if this reptilian creature pays you attention. And Zumbo, as you approach the mushrooms, so you just feel really at home. This feels nice. A plump, rotund little human woman with what appears to be massive Coke bottle, like massive wide-brimmed glasses, appears in front of you surrounded by mushrooms growing off all of her, like her shoulders and out of her ears, and she says,
Hello.
what do you all do?
Is it? Oh, sorry.
Well, firstly,
Go.
we don't cross the streams.
That's a given. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Badger's going to take a few steps back.
So as you take a few steps back, yeah, the scarred man looks to you, and there's this sense of predatory look in his eyes, almost like a wolf circling its prey. And as he doesn't, like, he's watching you steadily, but he isn't saying anything apart from, you know, that voice you heard in your head that said intruder. Go on, Patrick.
Yeah, Badger's going to call out, everyone, there's a situation with a spectral beefy boy over here.
As
Yeah.
Catcher's
thank you.
looking to. Yeah, there seems to be one over there as well.
Oh no.
Good, I thought it was the mushrooms.
Hiram, are you looking at a ghost right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so is everyone.
As Catcher, as you shout this out, Balthazar and Rowan, you watch as this avian creature. Yeah, I mean, Balthazar, you actually, would you? Would
I what?
Bam! Let's go for a history check on you two, and Catcher as well, because you can see it. Bam!
Advantage or just normal?
Just normal today.
11.
Oh, I
Okay.
got a 10.
Would
Would have been better with advantage, but you know.
So Slate and Catcher, yeah, you see a birdman. You see a birdman on top of this tomb. Balthazar, you see an Aarakocra.
Okay, gotcha.
But-
We'll go. Hey there.
Ash, I think.
Do you know
it's
way out of here?
The
Let's take
Aarakocra
a step back.
tilts its head slightly as it studies you, and then it blinks a few times and then looks down at the 3 totems on its tomb. And on the totems, you see these 3 runes, and in Druidic, and you recognize the runes to say birth, life, death. Oh, Katya doesn't say that.
Oh, put words in my mouth, Dan, literally.
So yeah, birth, life, death. And then it just, yeah, it looks back up to you, and then in your heads, you hear a voice say,
What? The natural order must be preserved.
Oh no. Oh no.
Badger, as you kind of take a few steps back from this, from the beefy boy, as you so put it, you hear a voice in your head that says,
A hunter must spill blood to survive.
Zumbo, the little old woman in front of you, shuffles forward, a haze emerging, kind of emanating from her, and she walks uncomfortably close up to you.
Yeah, Zumbo is shuffling back, his hand on his sword, but not like just like squirming back.
And she says,
When life leaves the body, the cycle can begin anew.
and Hiram, the reptilian figure, the lizard folk on top of the tomb, looks down to you and says,
When there was nothing, they all arrived to create all.
and it dawns on you, all of you in tunnels, that on each of the tombs are 3 items with different runes. And Rowan and Balthazar, you realise that these runes say birth, life, and death. And on each of the 3 tombs, there appear to be 3 spots for 3 items. So we'll start with Balthazar and Rowan.
Sorry, Dan. So there's each of the tunnels has a birth, life, and death thing.
Yes. So each of the tunnels has a tomb. Each of the tombs has 3 rocks, skulls, mushrooms.
Okay. Yeah.
On them, and what appear to be spots to put those 3 items. Those 3 items one has birth, one is inscribed birth, one inscribed life, one inscribed death.
And they're obvious, like, spots, are they? As in, if I didn't read Druidic, I would know that there was something meant to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But the items aren't in the...
The items are not
area.
in the spots at the moment. Yeah, so Zumbo, you've just watched these 3 mushrooms sprout out of the ground, each with these markings on them. Hiram, you've watched these runes begin to glow on the 3 stones in front of the tomb. Badger, what appears to be blood has just, magically been smeared across the skulls in front of your tomb, and there are these totems. They're almost like wooden pegs, little wooden peg totems, have had the runes inscribed on them. The ghosts, the spirits of these 4 druids look at you expectantly. We'll start with Balthazar and Rowan.
The natural order must be preserved.
Do you think we have to move the totems around?
I think so, but aren't they in the right order now?
So at the moment they're just in a pile.
Oh, okay.
Should I pick one up?
Do you read you read Druidic too?
Yeah, I can read it.
Yay! Oh, this is so much fun. Now we can write notes to each other and no one else will know what they're saying. Oh, this is amazing! Anyway, and then...
Balthazar will go to one of the totems and touch it.
Okay.
If it's fine, he will pick it up.
You do not die. No.
Okay.
And Ashmenda looks at you, raises her eyebrows and looks at you expectantly. And she this Aarakocra peers down between her feet to the tomb that she's floating above.
Can I pick a second totem?
Mm-hmm.
I will pick the third totem.
Okay.
Okay.
And as you pick,
middle.
there is a warbling rumble that comes from the spirit.
Oh.
As you hold the totems, she looks down at the tomb at her feet. The three impressions that seem suspiciously totem shaped.
I think we need to bring them back to the tomb. Put them in the.
Oh
order.
wait, maybe one of them is right because there's 3. So what did she say? Or they said?
They said that the natural order must be preserved. So I think if we put the totems in the 3 places in the order, birth, life, and death, then we might be able to, make Ashmender happy.
Oh, natural order must be death, life. It could be. It could be life. Life must be preserved. Not death. So maybe it wants life. Badger, what do yours say?
Go on, El, before we jump across.
Can I just check? In this section here, where the vines are there 3 totem-shaped places that we need to be putting? Yeah. So I'm gonna, whilst Balthazar is walking off, I'm gonna.
We're going to suspend disbelief slightly, but yes, you are holding 3 totems, and there are 3 clickable, like 3 snap to fit totem spots on the tomb.
I'm gonna. Which one have I picked up? I've basically picked up whichever Balthazar didn't.
Yeah. So you've got life.
Yeah. So I'll just put life and just put life right in the middle one and just go Balthazar, and then run off.
Okay. Yeah. So Balthazar, before you get too far, yeah, the low warbling rumble from the spirit gets louder the further you step away. It appears that the spirit is becoming agitated.
That doesn't like having too many away. Badger, what does yours say? Have you got 3 totems?
Yes.
Can Badger read them? Probably not, right?
Well.
So at the moment, yeah, Badger. You're just looking at 3 skulls that have had blood symbols marked across their foreheads.
Yes.
Can L and not L, Slate and myself go around and sort of point out to everyone which ones represent what?
I think if you were to do that, if Balthazar were to do that, Rowan would literally probably snatch the you know what I mean, the totems.
I'll leave the 2
you.
other totems where I am, and I'll tell to say, wait, don't put them anywhere. Just leave them for now. Let's see what the other ones are. And Balthazar will go around and sort of point out to everyone what they all mean, so that they know which one's life, which one's death, and which one's.
Slate will do the same.
Okay, so yeah, you plonk the other 2 totems back down by the vine bed, and yeah, going round, you notice that the runes for birth, life, and death are inscribed on each of the contextually appropriate items. So the 3 skulls, the 3 glowing rocks, the 3 mushrooms. And as you go round, you also see the 4 spirits that are the respective spirits that are floating above each tomb. As Badger, well, who's doing the round? Sorry, who's going around?
Balthazar
And Rowan, I think, would go the opposite way just to kind of save time.
So yeah, Rowan, Balthazar, as you go clockwise, Rowan, as you go counterclockwise. Rowan, when you get to what is effectively the last tunnel for you, you can see Zumbo stood in front, like looking up at the spirit of this rather round little old lady. She just looks quite content. It seems that she's getting a bit agitated because she's been there for a little while. But you stop for a moment, and as you peer at this old woman, roll me a history check.
I'm over there. Oh, 2. Gosh.
This looks like a very peculiar old woman, actually. Yeah.
I think I'll just look at her and go, very nice mushrooms. You've got very lovely mushrooms.
She looks up to you and,
Thank you.
all right.
yes.
So we
everyone
go around. We point out to everyone that so there's 1 totem of each at each of the alcoves, right?
3 totems. No.
Yeah.
What, 1 totem?
There are 3 items in each tomb. Each totem has, well, 1 says birth, 1 says life, 1 says death, and you point out which is which.
Right. I think ours wants life, because it says the natural order must be preserved, which must be life, right? And then, yeah. Here, what did yours say again?
Squiggle, squiggle, squiggle.
No.
What did your goat say?
Where there was nothing, hold on. When there was nothing, Ao a right to create all. So I assume out of character is going to be death, birth, life.
You'd think in character. So it could be all of them? And then Balthazar will go to Badger, where Badger is.
Badger and Katya, what did yours say?
A hunt must spill blood to survive.
So
Sounds quite death focused, doesn't it?
Birth, death, life?
Maybe.
and so we have life and you have death. And Zumbo, what did you get?
When life leaves the body, the cycle can begin anew. So,
And beginning in you could be birth.
yeah, so life, death, birth.
Hmm.
And then
Think-
the last one could be all of them.
Well, I think
Look,
they're all.
it's an order.
They're all of them. Yeah.
So so I'll just go up to Balthazar. Every tomb has 3 spaces, but in each of the tombs, each of the 3 totems they have are put in a different order, I think.
So let's get all the life ones here, right, at the plant one, and then we'll get all the death ones here, and then we'll give Hiram one of each, and then we'll give Zumbo all the birth ones.
I don't think that's how it works, Balthazar.
They would not fit. You can't fit a mushroom into my sarcophagus, that's for sure, or a skull.
Yeah.
And your bird person got very grumpy as you started walking away from it with one.
It's actually Ashmander.
Ashman. Sorry, I'll get that right if I have to refer to it again.
I don't think that's the name.
Yeah, Rowan. Sorry. As you
Oh.
go round, you notice that the runes in each of the tombs there's a effectively like a name plaque above each tomb. So you note that the bones, the one in the bones rooms that Catcher and Badger is in, says Bow Walker.
I'll say them as I go past as well.
Yeah. So Bow Walker.
Bow Walker?
Heavily Scarred Man is Bow Walker. Aarakocra is Ashmender.
As I'm walking past as well, I'll say, pleased to meet you, Bow Walker, and pleased to meet you, Ashmander, just to kind of be as nice as possible, even
Bow
though they're
Walker
terrifying.
snarls at you.
I'll kind of bow back terrifiedly.
The painted room that Hiram's in says Vercingetorix.
Pleased to meet you, Vercingetorix, which is an amazing name, but
And the mushroom
Friends with
one,
Asterix and Obelix.
the mushroom one says Margalith.
Do you want to point out there is no light in my room, so if you're coming on your
Yeah.
own, Rowan, you are not gonna see it.
yeah, it's not possible for me.
Yeah, so can I
Outside
have
of the rest-
someone who can actually see in the dark and translate the
There we go.
squiggles for me?
So
So I can
out
do
of
the puzzle?
Christian, out of character, what was wrong with the idea that Balthazar had?
It's
So-
basically each one has particular set of objects that only fit in their tomb. So each one is a particular order. So yours, the natural order, has to be preserved. So you'd have to put your 3 runes in the natural order.
Mhm.
The hunter, you'd have to put the runes in the order of blood being spilt to survive, life leaving the body. So you have to put the objects in that room on the tombs in the order to which the spirit suggests.
Yeah. So each tomb has 3 spots, and each tomb has 3 totems that need to be put in
What
order.
says we can't just move the spots around?
Because
They
they
won't fit the holes.
Ashbender
And
doesn't
then-
want to preserve life. He wants to preserve the natural order, which is you were born, you live, you die.
Mhm.
So you have to put them
And-
in the order of birth, life, death.
moving the totems away from each tomb will cause the gods
I think it's because
Um,
we tried to take 2 at a time, which wasn't.
I think you try to
I disagree.
you can take all of them and see what happens. But I think
Dear
it
Dan,
is-
does it look like the totems will only fit in the alcove that they must stay there? Okay.
There are
Alright.
3 skull holes, 3 skull depressions, 3 totem depressions, etc., etc. Yeah. There's only so far I can make this fantasy warp for these riddle mechanics.
I think as soon as Zombo's had the runes explained to him, he's gonna, glaring suspiciously at the ghost of the mushrooms, he's gonna get his dagger out and start cutting the
Oh,
mushrooms.
Okay.
and just starting like to place them in the spots that he's looking at the symbol and going, that looks about roughly the same, and like trying to put them in the order that he thinks, which is what did I say? Life, death, birth.
I think yours is death, birth, life.
No, that's mine. 'Cause mine was from nothing.
Oh yeah,
became
yeah,
something,
you're right.
and I
Yeah,
placed life.
life, death, birth.
I mean, he might be wrong. Somebody's not that smart. He's guessing, really.
So, okay, so hang on, everyone. So everyone, pick your tunnels because we're gonna effectively be placing these simultaneously.
Okay.
I think Cash is going to stick with Badger.
Okay.
But
I
Julia, you need to-
will.
Thanks.
I will, real
Can-
quick, allow a religion check for Hiram.
Okay.
So go on, Badger.
Katya, Hunter must spill blood to survive. So what do we think? Is it going to be birth, death, life, something like that?
That's what I think. You're born. You have to then kill in order to survive.
Sure, we'll do that then.
Hiram, you.
23, by the way.
Yeah, so 23 on your religion check. You know that Ao is the overgod. Ao was the first creature that arrived in the void and created what would become the Forgotten Realms, like Abil and Toriel. So yeah, effectively, yeah, Ao arrived and ignited what was effectively the Big Bang, if you will.
Okay. We could make the argument for death, life, birth. In that case.
Would it be death, birth, life? Because he
I mean, that was my original thought because
he arrives with nothing, gives birth to everything, and then there's life.
Yeah.
Is there an argument to say that maybe the totems might be okay for the totems to match others? Oh, I don't know.
I think no.
They're all slightly different outlooks.
Dan's smiling terrifyingly.
It's not good, is it?
Who have we not got an order from?
I haven't written mine down, but
and Badger, you and I disagree with.
In the chat,
we do disagree. Yeah. Luckily, it's not your totem though, is it? So.
Yeah.
Hunter must spill
Actually,
blood
Matt,
to survive.
Yes.
I think yours is it's kind of in the wording.
Yeah, so there's life to start with, isn't there? And then leaves the body, so death, and then birth. So I would think that's fairly.
So, for land, from what I hear, we've done birth, life, death. For moon, we're doing birth, death, life. For spores, we're doing life, death, birth. For stars, we're doing death, birth, life.
Is it all different? Yeah.
I will write that down so you can see it.
Yes.
Written down.
Yeah.
But that's what I heard from what everyone was saying.
Okay. I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
Consensus, people? Is there anything
Wait a
you
minute.
I think the land and the mushroom one, I think, pretty confident.
I am going to say that the fact that Dan made me roll a religion check and tell me that AO is the.
I mean, that was just contextual, like, because otherwise AO could mean anything. But you know that AO is the first being.
Death, life, birth. I think it's death, life, birth.
Which one?
AO's death. They're creating life, and that's when birth begins. I don't know.
Giving birth to life. He's
yeah,
creating.
That's true. You're right.
The spores
I think the order makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's where it makes sense.
I'm sticking to it.
Natural order to kill, life to death and creates, and then from nothing, life was created.
The only thing I'm not sure about is spores, because you could argue it goes death, then birth, then life, couldn't you?
But then that's the same as stars.
It's fine.
And
Oh,
I
so
think
it is.
stars,
So it
yes.
is. You're absolutely right. Yeah, yeah.
So
Let's do it this way then.
I disagree
You
with
live,
stars
you
though,
die,
because
and then the mushrooms kick off.
Also, I'm going to say
Yeah.
none of these can start with death apart from mine, because it specifically said there was nothing. With everything else, with the natural order of things, you have to have some kind of life for there to be a death.
Yeah.
Oh, so that means Moon would be.
Well, no, it's basically you need to spill blood to survive. So you're born, you kill to survive.
Okay.
Okay.
I personally, I think that's the order. But obviously, everyone.
Ooh, we're gonna
may-
get in a fight with some spirits if we get it wrong.
Let's hope not.
Are you
I
all?
will- Yeah, I will probably say I think they're wrong, but that's my idea. That's my opinion.
We've had a go. We had a
Yeah,
go.
I think it's a good shot. It's a good shot.
Okay.
It's good.
If it was wrong, it was so good playing with all guys. It's been a good run.
Well, we gave birth to our characters. We lived their life, and
Should we
Okay.
warn the others who are not doing the puzzles that we might potentially have a ghost fight on our hand?
Yes.
Well,
I think.
as you all place your
Wait. Before we do, sorry, can I put my hands onto the vines by where I am
Mhm.
and just see if I can get anything that's a bit different in talking to them? Be like, please be nice, please be nice, please be nice, please be nice, please be nice.
Okay, so as you plead to the vines, Badger and Katya, as you place your 3 skulls down, you feel a sense of agreement emanate from your grave.
way to go, Badger! High
And
five.
you watch as a sigil of the moon illuminates. Rowan, as you hold on to the vines, please, you feel a sense of agreement emanate from the grave. The sigil of the land illuminates.
We did it, Balthazar! We made it!
Zumbo, as you place as you plonk your mushrooms down, and they immediately spawn roots which bury themselves back into the dirt. You look up at the little old lady, and she looks down at you through her massive, wide-rimmed glasses, and you sense a feeling of agreement emanate from the spirit.
Really? Wow.
Hiram, as you place the 3 rocks which look like stars in this dark room, you look up at the lizard folk squatting on the tomb, and you sense a feeling of anger emanates from the grave.
Oh no.
The room shakes
Oh no.
as the painted stars begin to glow and start moving to coalesce into a constellation of a humanoid figure.
Oh god!
The figure seemingly looks at you and then pulls itself free from the wall.
Uh-oh.
Roll for initiative.
No!
Just him, I'm all of us.
All of you.
Okay.
Oh god.
We were so close.
That is actually Living
No.
Constellation is actually my nickname for myself, so just kidding. Bad joke.
See, I told you he was there making me roll that goddamn religion check for a reason.
Oh man. 12!
I constantly lose my initiative
What would the stars one have been then?
button.
It's a real
It should have been death,
Okay,
life, and
thank
birth.
you.
Death, life, and birth.
So, everyone, as we begin combat,
Jordan and Emily are missing.
we'll take a 10-minute break.
Ah,
Oh!
You tease.
See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
A bit.
See you in a bit.
Bye. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
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 So, the cave around you rumbles, and you all hear a gasp from Hiram's tunnel. Balthazar, you see this humanoid-shaped, what can only be described as a humanoid-shaped constellation pull itself from the wall and step forwards towards Hiram. And as it raises two arms, the joints highlighted by glowing motes of light. Zumbo, what do you do?
So I heard Hiram gasp, did I?
Yeah. So yeah, you've all... Yeah, you all know something's up.
Okay. I'll be kind of jubilantly, celebrating not being dead, and then Hiram and go, Hiram, everything all right for you there?
Everything alright, Hiram?
Do I get to
Yeah.
answer
yeah.
now or on my turn?
No free action. Yep, you're good.
Fucking peachy.
Oh, that's all right then.
Okay. Recognising the tone of voice, Zumbo will draw his sword and start running.
Okie dokie. So
Skidding around the corner, bouncing off Balthazar probably.
Yeah. And yeah, towering over Hiram is this... I mean, imagine, like, the drawings of Orion. It looks like one of those, just towering over Hiram with an arm raised.
Okay. I will... So does it look kind of insubstantial? Or what, does it look solid enough to hit?
It looks like you could probably hit it, yes.
Okay.
Somehow. Yeah. You can see almost sort of like it looks like a linework skeleton almost, faint beams of light connecting each joint. It moves almost skeleton-like, is it?
Okay.
Like a graceful ballerina skeleton.
Yeah, so in that case I'll bonus action dash, literally skidding around the corner, and take a thrust at it with my rapier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's 9 to hit.
Okay, so as you thrust at the constellation, yeah, like you go to thrust where you would normally thrust on a person, but like your sword just, like your rapier just kind of passes through and doesn't make any noticeable. It doesn't have a noticeable effect.
Well, that ain't gonna work. Alright, and that's his turn.
So I should also quickly do this, because apparently this is a thing. Excuse me, don't mind me. Just gonna apologise for this in advance, Hiram. I'm just going to
Kill your character.
Oh no.
blind you.
Oh no.
Oh, that is very bright. Okay, yeah. Let's there we go. Right. Yeah, it is this thing. As you thrust at it, Zumbo, it sort of like it brings its arms down and bright light booms out of it. Brighter than the light coming from Balthazar's staff. Certainly. Yes, yeah, you miss, unfortunately. Anything else? Okie dokie. Badger, you've just seen this. You've heard the sound of Balthazar, Zumbo's feet as he's gone running. There's been this big burst of light that's emanating past the central pillar. What do you do?
Sensing something is very wrong over in the stars quadrant. Badger's gonna take off running in that direction and saying, encouraging the team to all converge.
Okie dokie.
No, I didn't mean to do that. 6. I can actually go. Can I get 8 per? I'm 40 foot, aren't I? Oh my goodness! Right, I think I'm gonna bonus action, I'm going to step of the wind so I can dash. 4, 5. Okay, and I'm from there. I think I'm 10 foot away.
So you've used 70 foot so far.
Yeah, so that was with bonus action dash using step of the wind. So, so from here, I'm going to see if my fiery fist will do anything against this constellation. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. It's going to have to be unarmed strikes because I'm 10 foot away. There's a 19 hit.
It does.
So it's 9 fiery damage.
Okay, so as you... a jet of flame comes from your fist and it strikes a constellation, which reacts violently, but no noise comes from it.
It reacts violently, does it? Does it? It seems to care?
It's as if it's been hit by a gout of flame.
Okay, let's do it another couple of times. In fact, I can only do it twice because I don't get my bonus action, do I? Does a 12 hit?
You do get your bonus.
No,
But I've used my bonus action
for the dash.
to dash.
Yeah.
That's right. Does a 12 hit?
It does not.
Okay.
So as it turns, it seems thinner than it is wide.
Okay. Oh dear. That's it for me.
That's it for you. Okay, and it, like, what you can only discern as its head turns to look to you. Helenus shouts, "What's going on?" Balthazar, what do you do?
Balthazar will rush to go next to Badger. And why can't I move?
You've got your ruler selected still. Yeah.
How do I? Right, move.
Yeah.
And shielding his, and we'll scream, "Hear him!" And we'll shield his face away from all the bright light. But we'll raise his staff, and we'll use arcane abjuration.
Oh!
For the second time.
Okay. In which case,
I need you to make a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw, please.
Excellent. Yay!
Cool. It disappears, Dan.
Oh. What? Wait, what?
Well, that's
Got a 10.
if it is a celestial or a fey or elemental, which I suspect it is.
So light erupts out of Balthazar, and the constellation flickers, and it appears to be trying to press itself back onto the wall because it's turn. You've turned it. You haven't destroyed it.
Yeah, but I'm above 5th level, right? So if you read the last part of the spell, when could you fail?
Banished for 1
CR 1 or lower.
Yeah, you're level 8, so CR1 or lower.
Banishes?
Yeah, you only banish CR1 or lower elementals at level 8.
It isn't an urgent. Oh, and it's trying to reading that below. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah. So yeah, but this thing like presses itself. Well, I mean, it's already flat in there, but it presses itself more flat against the wall of the crypt of the tomb. Okay, so how long will spend each of its turns for each action? You can use a dash and escape. Okay, fine. If there's nowhere to move, it will dodge. Cool, perfect. There you go. So yeah, Balthazar, you're not entirely sure why, but this thing is seemingly cowering from you.
Yeah. That's my turn.
As that happens, like there's a big boom, and then from the other side of the barrow, you hear, "What is happening?" from Axicast. Catcher, what do you do?
Catcher can move to there. I can see it, thank goodness. And she sort of screams out, "What the bloody hell is it?" And she casts a vicious mockery upon it. Needs to make a DC 16 Wisdom saving throw.
Ooh.
Hi. DC 16. It fails.
Oh.
It takes 7 psychic damage.
Ooh.
And it has disadvantage on its next attack.
Okay.
For her bonus action, she's going to scream out, "Hiram!"
So, yeah, at the sound of Katia shouting, "What the neath is that?" The constellation seems to freeze for a moment, and then peels itself back off the wall, in preparation to attack.
Yeah, then I'll give Hiram a bardic inspiration.
Okay. Anything else?
That is all for Catch's abilities.
Drool.
Drool, 5, 10, 15, 20.
So what's the light, Drool?
30. Yep, Drool can get into that space there. So Drool leaps over Zumbo and goes snapping at the starlight for 21.
That is a hit.
He'll deal 7.
I love the idea of, like dogs when they're bubbles and stuff, like like that kind of thing.
So basically that is what happens. Drool what you do notice as Drool bites down on one of the glowing motes of energy, the constellation doesn't seem to be that fussed, but
does it make a... I guess it's too big to make a strength saving throw against being pulled over.
Drool lets out a yelp as he takes 2 radiant damage.
Ooh.
I just realized this is probably the druid form from the Circle of Stars, isn't it? Or similar to it.
Again, I'm assuming it's too big for the strength save, right?
It's strength save or prone, right?
Yeah. It passes.
Okay.
Oh, hang on. One second. Never mind. Carry on.
Okay. In that case, the constellation looks to you all, and steps as it begins moving towards you, and I say it's effectively like a 2D image, but you watch as the motes begin to orbit as it starts kind of swirling around itself into a constellation, a 3D constellation, and it moves, it glides on top of you.
DM Dan,
Yes.
can it do that if it's frightened?
It can, because it took damage.
Okay.
I need to read my ability.
Yeah, it took damage.
Oh, sorry. That'll be my dog.
So everyone in its space takes. So Hiram, you take 3 radiant damage. Who's that? Drool takes 7. Balthazar takes 9 radiant damage. And you all catch fire. Like, you all begin glowing, and the heat, you feel the heat of a star kind of burning inside you. So every turn, at the start of each of your turns, you'll take a further d10 fire damage. It then walks that way, and Badger, you take 1 radiant damage. Zumbo, you take 3 radiant damage. And having stepped on you all, it then turns back to Hiram, and
Remember the disadvantage on any attacks.
okay.
Astral punch.
So it reaches for Hiram, misses, but then another nebula comes out, and 15 to hit. Okay, and Hiram, you manage to kind of shield away, and the hand kind of bounces off you slightly. And the constellation just happily sits on you all, and you're burning in starfire. Emily.
Tilda?
I thought then you are playing Emily.
Mm-hmm. Emily does nothing. Slate. What do you do, Rowan?
For God's sake. No.
You can see a very bright, swirling mass of stars. It looks like, you can see little nebulas and supernovas going off inside it, and It is to be sat on top of your adventuring party.
I would like to. Let me just try this run. Is it control? I forget. Yes. So that would be there. That would be there. Oh, did something wrong there. Anyway, 1 second. Moved there. Oh.
Oh, God. Everything moved.
Wait. Oh, help. Get me back. And then I am going to. I guess. Very little. I'm going to. Oh, is that a cantrip? Sorry, 1 second. You'd think I'd have prepared this before I got to this point. I am going to. Can I just ask?
Yes.
What likelihood do you think there are bugs in the area?
White high?
What kind of bugs? Do you think maybe like some centipedes?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Okay. Well, I can transform up to 10 centipedes into giant animals. And I'm going to do that because why the hell not? Giant insect, baby! I want giant centipedes all over the place. I don't want to see them, but I want them to be around.
Blimey, didn't know you had that. Right, so realistically, giant centipede. I mean, we haven't specified that there are 10 rolling about, right?
No.
So what we'll do...
No, it doesn't necessarily mean that there is 10. It could be up to 10.
In the interest of fairness, because I
space.
there are 8. 8.
Still more than you hoped, wasn't it, Dan?
Don't know what you're talking about. Right, giant, giant centipede. Do I even have giant centipedes? I have. What are giant centipedes? Hang on. Right, quick. Let's. What are they? I assume they're beasts. Giant centipede. Oh no. Okay, right. They're not as big as I was worried they'd be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and sod you. One comes out the wall behind you. 8. Okay, right. 8 giant centipedes. Put one over here. We'll have that one roll initiative. Bam. Okay, 8 giant centipedes appear, and I think.
Sorry, guys.
I assume they attack on their own turns, right? Obey your verbal commands. They act on your turn each round.
On my turn, so let's go.
They resolve their actions. Okay.
Can I do it for this round, or would it be only next round?
So they go on your turn. Okay, so what do you tell them to do?
Crawl, my pretties, crawl! And then I'll say, attack! And then point the weird star thing! Just in case they were confused.
Okay, right. In which case... 1, 2... well, it's just gonna be a traffic jam of giant centipedes, isn't there? All right, so you all watch as you're like flailing about, covered in starfire, and suddenly a flock of is it a flock? What's a group of centipedes called? A slither, a skitter of centipedes comes barreling towards you, and
nope of centipedes.
A nope of centipedes, and oh my goodness! Right, first one. Good lord. The constellation. I love how it's like, yeah, the DM can handle this. Right, so the first centipede hits for 4 damage, but then this is gonna get real. And then takes 1 damage. Oh no! Right. Takes 1 damage, and then the constellation takes that much, and then the next one gets a bite, and that one does. That's a 12. It misses. Yeah, have it. Realistically, they're centipedes, so they're going to be on top of each other. So we'll go for another few. Like that one hits, and then that one does. Nibble, nibble, nibble. That one of those. Okay, and then it eats 5. Ha!
Tally all this up, maybe it might be easier.
Yeah.
No, because I have to roll the damage bouncing back out at them. So one centipede disappears into a black hole. The fourth one, sorry, misses, and then the fifth one, which is the last one that can attack this turn, misses. Right, there we go.
Curse you.
So the others then flock in a bit closer because they're centipedes and they're creepy as all hell. Right. Cool. I'm just going to leave that character sheet up. Anything else, Slate?
I'm thinking, well done.
Okay.
Don't like them.
Hiram, first things first, at the start of your turn, you take 4 radiant damage. And then what do you do?
I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration on myself, so I'm not going to be blinded anymore.
Oh, you're not blinded, by the way. It's just very bright. But you are on fire, in effect.
I can deal with. Okay, in that case, I'm just going to attack this guy.
Not blind, on fire.
Go and walk it off.
No biggie.
Unfortunately, that is on its own not a hit, but I do believe I have Bardic Inspiration.
You do.
Ooh, very good.
So
16.
16 total. So that hits, and as you bring the sword up into the constellation.
That's 12 damage.
Ooh, nice.
And for the second. Right.
Uh,
I assume the smite is going to be absolutely useless here, so we're not even going to bother with that. Second attack.
Delicious, delicious smite.
Right, so that didn't really help.
you have
Well,
inspiration, if you want to use it.
I'm good.
Okie dokie. No worries. So you take, it's hard to look at, it's hard to see what exactly it is you need to hit. But yeah, you take a few swings at it. As that happens, inside Zumbo, you are in a world of brilliantly bright light and pain. You take 8 radiant damage.
Okay.
Also, there is an army of centipedes that have just rocked up.
I was going to say, he was probably backing away and then turned around and saw this scuttling horror. So he's immediately turned tail and crawls through Balthazar's legs, which I can do because I'm small.
Oh my
You're
goodness.
Yep.
And he's kind of like patting his hat and trying to get the flames out of that, but he turns around and goes, "Get off my crew!" and is lobbing balls of water at the thing over his shoulder as he runs. Is it just normal? I'm not got disadvantage or anything. Okay.
All right. It's disadvantage if you're there because you're.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll bonus action disengage.
Cool. And then you'll separate. Fine.
And then so crawl through Balthazar's legs, stand up, and lob these things over my shoulder as I. Okay, so
that is
16.
a hit.
Awesome. 7 force damage.
Okay. The first one impacts it, and you see one of the lights, like one of the stars, kind of zot out.
Cool. And the other one, 18.
Nice.
Also a hit.
4.
Okie dokie. And then that pushes it 20.
Yeah.
One,
Which
two,
may not be good for those
4.
centipedes. So
No.
sorry. Sorry, Slate.
Yeah, actually.
Ooh.
1. Okay, so we'll just go from the top. Dead.
Oh no. Killed the wrong things.
Dead. No. This was.
They were in the
100%.
way.
This was 100% the plan Zumbo. Like, who brought all these centipedes in quick?
It's just like, meant to
Get
do
rid
that.
of them. Okay, there are now only 2 centipedes which are slightly scorched, and because there's things passed over them, they're also on fire now. So,
Oh dear.
not that one. It's that one. Cool. Anything else, Zumbo?
I think I've done quite enough.
The things we do in a blind panic. Okie dokie. After Zumbo is Badger. What do you do?
Badger's gonna probably try and get a bit closer.
Uh-huh.
Why is that? Is it just appearing for me, the sort of spectral badger, but in the space
Yeah, I
I
had
was
that
just
earlier.
in?
That just shows where you started. If you ever
Ah.
Cool. It's gonna get within 10 feet and do a bit more punchy from a distance.
Okay.
Let's see. 2. We're gonna go unarmed strike. 20.
That's a hit.
Dirty 20's a hit for 11 fiery damage.
You see one of the stars go supernova.
Lovely. It's only an 11, so that's a miss. But I am gonna bonus action flurry of blows for another 2.
Okay. That's another hit.
10 fiery damage.
Okay.
And finally a 25
That's a hit.
for 9 fiery damage.
Okay. So the 2, as you you swing once, it takes out a star. You swing again, and it kind of soars just over its shoulder. The next 2 attacks sever one of the arms, and you just watch as the lights just kind of evaporate.
Nice. Thank you.
And next up is Helenus. Helenus looks over and what is that? She shouts. Balthazar, what do you do?
Balthazar will.
Sorry, beg my pardon. First thing Balthazar does is take. Badger takes 10 radiant damage.
Okay, yeah.
Balthazar takes 10 radiant damage.
Wow.
Oh boy. Stop rolling so high, please.
Yeah, Balthazar will go. Hey, go away! And wave his staff, and I will cast a spell.
Hey.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are really trying to banish it, aren't you?
Yeah, this thing needs to go. That is a fail.
Okay, and as you shout, "Go away!" The constellation now with only one arm turns to you, and as it reaches a hand out, and the star at the end of its arm just seems to grow larger and larger as it tries to envelop you. And Badger, as it approaches you, Balthazar, you see a flash. Those apart from Badger, you see a flash come from Balthazar's staff. A pulse rips out, and the constellation is blown back, hits the central pillar, and vanishes.
Oh, what happened? Where'd it go?
We all need to put ourselves out, I think, first and foremost.
Ow.
Yeah.
Roll on the
Just
floor.
immediately start patting ourselves to put out the flames.
Can Zumbo help? Throwing...
I was going to say, yeah, I'll just be lobbing water balls everywhere.
Is there there's a bonfire where Balthazar used to be? Skyforks night, yeah.
Oh no.
Well, as the constellation just vanishes, the light that's been kind of pushing from inside your skin, inside your body, just dims, and it's difficult to explain what it feels like to have a cold bath on your insides, but that's what it feels like. And as the constellation is banished, Rowan and those of you nearby notice that the 4th sigil illuminates.
Oh, good. Imagine if we'd got any more than just one wrong.
Right.
From what I was hearing is we're having giant mushrooms and dragon.
So, as you all take a moment to collect yourselves, you notice that there are sigils above these 4 pedestals which are now glowing. Each one of them, the 2 of you who can read Druidic, mentioning effectively being the sigils of these respective druids. And as you gather before the door, you notice that the spirits once again have appeared above their respective tombs. So you can see this heavily scarred, the heavily scarred man to the left, and in your head you just kind of have this knowledge that the spirit's name in life was Kadeon Bowwalker. The Arakokra, you have this knowledge that she was called Karork Ashmender. The lizard folk behind you, you've already seen his name, Vercingetorix. And Hiram, Badger, Slate, and Katya, as you turn your heads to look down the tunnel to the corridor with the no longer glowing fungi, you see the outline of this plump little woman with massive wide-rimmed glasses, and in your heads you get the name Margalith. Mabel Margalith. And the spirits just kind of look to you in acceptance, if you will, and you watch as the vines at the top of the tomb begin to give way as they pull apart like gnarled fingers, and before you it's a final tomb.
Ooh.
On a stone throne sits a skeleton, slumped to one side. Upon the skeleton's skull is a second skull of a dragon.
Ooh.
And inside you can see, despite this tomb being dark and somewhat dry, the room is filled with a verdant array of bushes and berries and small flowers. This looks like it were a graveyard if you're outside in the sunlight, but it's approximately 15 feet underground.
Oof.
And above the skeleton's head reads one final druidic inscription that says Narvla Skyshatter. And as you gather around, you notice a shape appears to form around the skeleton. A ghostly figure rises from the throne to look at you, and in her hands materialize a crescent moon-shaped sickle and a crescent moon-topped staff. A ferocious-looking banner hangs. It is attached to her back, and jutting from a hood is the snout of a dragon's skull. A glowing from her eyes, emanating from inside it. And Narvla looks to you in turn and... Congratulations, she says.
Thank you.
She looks to you and it has been some considerable time since the living have ventured into our tomb. She seems to be looking at you all individually, yet looking through you at the same time. Why have you woken me?
Do you believe that we were chased in here by a dragon? And we were looking for a way out?
Narvla's eyes flash more vibrantly at the sound of at the talk of a dragon. And she tilts her head slightly and... You chose to run from it?
Well, at the time, that was the... And she thinks about it for a moment. The best tactic that we had. Naturally, we're going to be looking for it afterwards, but just, this... Oh god, what's the saying I'm looking for? Something valor. Better part of valor.
Discretion is a better part of valor.
Yeah, discretion's the better part of valor.
I think
we were just...
I think what my friend is trying to say, it's easier to kill a dragon when you're not dead.
There was a lot of fire.
We really just wanted to give it a fighting chance. It wouldn't have been fair for us to take it on before it was prepared. It wouldn't have been a fair fight. So we've given it some time to catch its breath, and then we'll head back out there and sort it out. If you could just show us the exit, then we'll be out of your hair and we'll go deal with it.
The spirit of Narvla looks at you all and then vanishes.
Hey, come
And
back.
it reappears
Oh.
next to you, Rowan.
Oh.
And you will watch as his spirit looks Rowan up and down. I sense the old magics in you, child. You are a practitioner of the druidic arts.
Well, yes. I mean, we. It's kind of a thing to do around. We don't. No one gets into it. It calls to them, or you have to do it anyway. So. And then
Spirit
you are.
takes a step back. You practice the old magics, but your soul is not of nature. Your soul is bathed in the shadow. What are you?
I'm me, and that's okay. And you really should be nicer to people that you've just met. It's really not fair. I don't come to you and be like, oh, you're barely in a corporal form. Your Majesty, and then bows.
Narvla disappears, fades away, and reappears next to Hiram and Badger and Balthazar. She looks at you in particular, Balthazar, and a spectral hand reaches out and seems to almost run along the wooden joints on your elbow.
Fly away.
What has happened to this world that we would unnaturally give life to the forest, give life in such a mimicry of the forest? She turns to you. Who are you? To whom do you owe allegiance?
I guess the Warhounds now.
And she tilts her head. Warhounds. And as she looks back up at you, the 4 ghosts of the 4 tombs surround you.
Ooh.
You hear the growl of the scarred man. You hear the ruffle of feathers and the small like from the Aarakocra next to him. You hear a slow, throaty from the lizard folk, and you hear quaint little mumbles coming from the old woman. The dragon, says Narvla. Does it yet live?
It's
Yes.
probably still alive.
It depends on which dragon you're talking about. The one that chased us in here, yes, is still alive.
It's alive, but it's controlled by someone.
Narvla, it's difficult to gauge a reaction given that all you can see is a bizarre, this literal dragon skull. But you can notice a slight tensing in the shoulders as you say that a dragon was controlling, the dragon was being controlled. As long as dragons breathe, draw breath in the king's forest, peace will not be found in the lands of Cormyr. Do you have the resolve to slay the beast?
Yeah. As I said, me and my crew are up to it. We just need letting out.
Why should we?
I like what Hiram say. Why are we facing a dragon? It is a dragon. Fire, breath, ash.
Not even that. This is not our fight. We are not even supposed to be here.
Narvla tilts her head slightly and... Cormyr was founded on the death of dragons, and Cormyr will survive on the death of dragons.
Cormyr is currently tearing itself apart. Dragons make no difference.
Narvla looks slightly taken aback. What troubles the forest kingdom that threatens such devastation?
Rowan raises
Can
her
you
hand.
repeat that?
Sorry, she looks to you, slightly taken aback, and says, "What threatens Cormyr? What threat stands before Cormyr that threatens such devastation?"
Self.
Rowan puts her hand up. Do without being overstepping the mark here. I do appreciate that you're quite keen for us to, kill some dragons and everything. But could you maybe help with, some sort of resource or wisdom? I mean, what can we do when you're...
The ghost looks, or vanishes, and then re-emerges. Why should I help a creature born of... And then she stops. And she looks at you. She leans in. And then sounds as if she smells you.
Weirdo.
That scent. I recognize that scent, she says.
No.
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 The scent of your mentor. Where is your mentor? Why is he not guiding you on this journey?
Just Rowan looks down and does not answer.
Narvla, you sense a air of frustration begin to emanate from Narvla, and with lightning speed, a hand her hand comes out and she grabs you by the shoulder and pulls you in. Where is Barents? I very much wish to speak with him.
I don't know. He's gone. I don't know where he's gone. I'm not with him. I haven't seen him in months, almost a year. Just please, don't.
Leave her alone.
And her head turns to look at you, Catcher, and her other hand reaches out to the central pillar and places a hand against the earth, and her head lowers. And Slate, as you begin to think about everything that, like, you find yourself just thinking about everything that happened when you last saw Baz, and as you're thinking it feels as if those memories are being drawn out of you, until eventually Narvla lets go of you, pulls her hand from the pillar, from the mound. He has fallen.
No.
He was alone. He has fallen to rage. And she looks to you all. Well, she looks to you, Slate. There are those that can see that this is not the skin you own, she says. And she holds a hand out, and in her hand materializes the crescent moon sickle. And she takes your hand and places the handle of the sickle in your palm. As she closes her hands around yours, the sickle begins to materialize and solidify and take shape to form what appears to be a crescent moon sickle that's rusted and caked with grime and blood.
I think Rowan would definitely scream by that point. Even if it wasn't hurting, it would be the fact that it's shocked and imagine permanent.
Narvla just stares you dead in the eye, and you need to roll that with disadvantage.
Let me do. Sorry, 1 second. That's not working from there. 1 second.
Like, as you feel the world begin to kind of throb and thrum around you, as suddenly all you can really see is Narvla's face.
Oh gosh.
And your soul, your very soul feels cowed. And Narvla repeats, "He has fallen to rage. There is only one option. You must cull the beast."
No.
And as she lets your hands go, the sickle is in your hands. And Narvla disappears and re-emerges on her throne. "It has been a long time since I have been awoken." And you see her hands kind of sliding along the arms of her throne as she kind of grips the corners. "I sense the land, it speaks to me. I sense a returning darkness from beneath." And she tilts her head up, puts a hand on the vines behind her head and runs her hand up the wall. "I sense an encroaching darkness from beyond." And she presses a hand to her chest. "I sense a growing darkness from within. This is your age, not mine." And she looks at you, Hiram. "This is your fight to fight." And she holds a hand out, and twists it palm up, and the pillar behind you begins to rumble, and rocks and debris start kind of clattering down on your head, small specks of dirt, and you watch as the central pillar, parts and tilts back and becomes a staircase, and light begins to pour through from the top. And the roots from the central pillar kind of warp to form the stairs to give you an exit from her tomb. And Navla sits back in her throne and looks at you expectantly.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Without like saying goodbye, Rowan just runs straight up immediately just to get out there as quick as possible.
Hexacast, Helenus!
As you run up the stairs, as you're about to exit, the 4 ghosts appear in front of you. They don't say anything, but in your head you hear,
The beast must be calmed.
and then they vanish. And those of you who've watched Rowan kind of run up into the stair, well, the newly formed stairwell, you watch as Navla, those of you still behind, watch as Navla fades from her throne. Yes.
As everyone is saying, like, oh, goodbye, Hiram is just going to look at her and say, maybe work on your manners for the next couple of 100 years.
Oh, she doesn't have to worry about dragonfire. She's just got burnt by Hiram.
And she, with that sick burn, Navla then vanishes, leaving you free to emerge, to ascend the staircase after Slate.
Of course, manners being a top priority of an ancient, wise entity.
So goddamn rude though! Like, why make us go through all of that to prove ourselves and with the puzzles and the fight and everything, and then just be a bitch anyway?
Pride. They're very proud.
Seriously.
Nobody's really grumpy from like being woken up from a really nice
I love
sleep.
this is the hill that Hiram's dying on. It's like, ghosts should be a better mannered.
They should be more polite.
Hundreds of years, they should be like.
I don't know.
Didn't
I
even
think
offer
the
us a
base
drink.
level of "do not be a bitch" is not a lot to ask for.
I think the
From a
older you
previous
get,
leader.
the less you care. She's just
It's nice to be
done
nice.
with everyone.
Manners cost nothing.
Also, I'm
I
really
mean,
sorry.
she's
She
only
just
had those 4 people for the past 100 years. I mean, imagine Aarakocra's one who's just like, constantly calls on and on and on.
Yeah, but also I gotta say, just smelling someone without their consent. Rude.
So, as you all probably very happily ascend the stairs out of this barrow, you find yourselves one of those.
Do Hannis and the rest need any help?
Wait, say again? Oh, Helen. So
Do
yeah,
Hannis and the
Helenus
rest
and
need help?
Helenus helps Axacas up over and out the stairs. But you find yourselves emerged up onto the barrow, the top of the barrow, and you notice that the way that the ground has warped and the roots are kind of splayed out. It's almost as if you've walked out of the mouth of this dragon skull. And as you kind of get to the top of the stairs, and Hiram, you're complaining about the grumpiness of the ghost. Badger, you hear in your head,
Your companion is correct. She seemed very rude.
but Slate. So you find Slate stood at the edge of the barrow, And ahead of you, just in front of you, sprawling out ahead of you, from the mouth of the cave out, you can see this heavy scorch mark, where the dragon had its kind of run up to you. Perhaps what catches your attention more is the sound of heavy armor, mail boots, as a squad of purple dragons, led by a bald, dark-skinned, scar-on-left-cheeked man, Caven Tor. And he looks to you, slightly concerned, and... Did you just come out of the ground?
No.
Yes.
A little?
I don't know. Can you repeat the question?
And the purple dragons begin, so the loyalist purple dragons begin to fan out through the glade. You see some of them kind of gathering around the scorch marks, the half-eaten deer. You see others kind of investigating the furrow of fiery, like burnt ground running up to the cave. And yeah, Caven kind of approaches you and he's kind of shouting up to you at the top of the barrow. I didn't realize that you were the mercenaries that had picked up the dragon hunt job.
We are not.
Right.
Are we not?
We didn't.
I suspect that this was a bit of a surprise then.
I mean, yes.
Comes with the territory of adventuring. Occasionally you get attacked by a dragon, evidently.
And he looks at the scorch marks on the ground. Evidently, he shouts up.
Do you want us to come down to you so we don't have the shades?
That would be grand. As far as I understand it, there was a dragon here recently.
What gave it away, other than the fact we mentioned it and there's a huge scorch mark on the floor? I'm sorry, it's been a long day. I'm sorry for my tone.
So, as you start coming down, and sort of like Caven's looking at you with this kind of bemused smile on his face, he... Tell you what, I'll grab you. Okay. Those of you that haven't started moving up, all you all. There you go. Whoop.
Oh.
Right, so yeah, as you all come down, at the back of the group is Helenus carrying Axicas, and as he access like limping on a sprained hoof, and as they kind of come into view, you notice that there's a quiet that runs through the soldiers as they turn to look at the two women, and you hear one of the dragons say, "Sir?" And Caven Tor looks past you all and sees Helenus and Axicas. And Caven raises an eyebrow. You're Helenus Fish, aren't you? And there's an awkward silence from the two stalwart adventurers. And he turns to look to you lot and says, "Are these two with you?"
Yes.
Yes.
And I would presume that, he says, shouting to Axicas and Helenus behind you, that you were the mercenaries that answered our call. And the two women look at side-eye each other and then nod. And then he says, "Well, that's fortunate. Perhaps the two of you should follow me back to the Stagsteads so we can debrief and get an explanation of what happened here. And Helenus, I was wondering, when was the last time you spoke to your mother?" And with that, we'll call it there.
Oh, dun dun dun.
Dun, dun.
boy.
Maybe this guy is Helen's dad. Is that a thing?
Oh, interesting.
Can I just say how
Why don't you
refreshing
call
it
your
is
mama?
that it's not my family drama starring our ship in the story?
Kevin Thorne is Hennis's dad. It's canon.
Or
Head
brother.
cannon.
I mean, age-wise,
Oh.
he could be a brother.
No, but he said your mother, so it must be
Yeah, but
Half-
then
they're
again,
half
Keeps
brothers
elsewhere.
and sister.
Elsewhere.
Elsewhere, in the King's Forest, the purple dragon yawns and scratches her cheek idly as she leans on her spear. She lets out a sigh as she's been posted here for so long on sentry duty, and it's been a long day. She just wants she thinks for a moment about some food, and it's not great food that they have here, but maybe it'll be warm. That would be nice. And a drink. I'd love a drink right now. And she lets out a huff, and she looks to the other purple dragon stood on the wall of Fort Lymera, and he looks back to her with this dejected expression on his face as well. And he calls out, "Don't worry, only another," and he looks up at the sun. I don't know, 3 hours? They hear a cough from the ground, and as they peer over the battlements to look at who it is at the gates, they see two figures at the head of a small procession. And the purple dragons, the sentries, both open their eyes, and she mutters under her breath, "Timora's tits."
But who is it, Dan? But who?
having fun.
Dun,
about it.
dun,
No,
dun.
I'm happy about it if it is who I think it is.
Congratulations, everyone, on completing session 6.
Hey.
Wait.
Thank you.
The end of the side quests.
I enjoyed the puzzle, even though we didn't necessarily get
No.
it. It's fun to do a puzzle.
We haven't gotten rid of the bandits in the King's Forest, Dan. Or was it?
Never
That's the main quest.
That's the main quest, Anton.
Yeah.
We're back on track now.
I thought
Yeah,
that
the
was
main-
a side quest.
The main
Okay.
quest was clear out the forest bandits. The side
Yeah.
quests have been stop a civil war, hunt a dragon, escape, escape the
supplies.
barrow.
Talk
Yeah.
to mushrooms. Yeah,
That's-
gotcha.
Where are the supplies, Dan?
They are at Deadluke.
At the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, hopefully.
Oh, they've been recaptured by Jick.
Oh, jeez.
But yes, thank you all for playing. I will enjoyed, and I will see you next week.
See you next week.
Great.
See you next
See you
week.
then.
Bye-bye.
Bye. With the mysterious barrow of Narvla Skyshatter behind them, the Warhounds can finally turn their attention back to their original mission of hunting down forest bandits in the King's Forest. It would seem, however, that these pesky side quests have other ideas. As is quite clear, we've made some changes to the videos, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on the new visual layout and the split session videos. Let us know in the comments down below. If you liked the video, please consider giving us a thumbs up and telling others about our channel so they can enjoy the campaign too. We'll be uploading the first part of each new session on Sundays and the second part midweek. We upload weekly short clips to YouTube and TikTok, and you can find us on Instagram and Twitter on the links in the description. Clicking on this box here will take you to the previous video, and clicking on this logo here will subscribe you to the Explorers of Elsewhere channel. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, may the realms endure.